Welcome to Mysteries in Crime. I'm your host, Melissa Thompson. If you haven't already, please click the subscribe button. I'd love to have you as part of our little community. Okay, you guys, just when we think that we're going to get a break with children's cases, bam, we get hit with another. And this one is so deplorable, disgusting, horrible. There's a whole bunch of adjectives that I would like to add to this story, but let's begin. On Sunday, October 24th, 3 boys were found abandoned in a Texas apartment ready for this, with skeletal remains of their 9-year-old brother. The Harris County Sheriff's Department in Texas responded to an apartment complex in Houston where the 3 kids were found abandoned in an apartment with, quote, skeletal remains were also found inside the unit, end quote. Sheriff Ed Gonzalez led a press conference on Sunday about the, quote, very horrific situation, end quote, explaining that the kids were ages 5. Oh, I'm sorry. I think he made an error. They're 15, 10, and 7 and had been left alone for, quote, an extended period of time, end quote. So these 3 boys were in this home fending for themselves, with the 15-year-old in charge of the 10 and 7-year-old, and apparently his 9-year-old brother has been deceased for a long time, and he was laying in the room next to his 15-year-old brother's room. The boys had no power whatsoever. And you ready for the kicker of this situation? Apparently on Sunday, the 15-year-old called authorities to tell them that his brother was laying in the next room, deceased, and had been there for over a year. When police got there, they said that the conditions of their situation was deplorable, absolutely horrible. The children were very malnourished, and at least the 2 younger ones had extensive injuries. Now, we do not know where these injuries have come from. We don't know who did that. What we do know is that they were taken to the hospital. All 3 children were, because of the malnourishment and the injuries. Now, the 15-year-old told authorities that their parents had moved out months ago. But according to the press conference that was on Sunday, Sheriff Gonzalez believes that the parents have been gone for a while. So the sheriff's homicide unit, the child A-word unit, and crime scene unit are involved in the ongoing investigation, as well as CPS. Gonzalez said at the press conference, quote, very tragic. Been in this business for a long time, and I had never heard of a scenario like this. It really caught me by surprise. We're going to make sure we do everything we can and make sure we conduct a thorough follow-up investigation and make sure that the kids are okay, end quote. So according to a press release that the sheriff's office released, the 15-year-old called authorities on Sunday, right? Now, I told you that already. And more information has come out since Sunday. According to ABC13.com, before the 15-year-old called authorities, he texted his mom to tell her he could not take it anymore. A neighbor, Erica Chapman, has come forward saying the first time she saw the 15-year-old, he was sleeping on the slides outside. The neighbors said the 15-year-old relied on them for food. Chapman said she knew something was wrong because his mother was rarely home, so she started giving him food 6 months ago. She said, quote, she would come and park and he would run down and grab noodles, drinks, and chips and run back up, end quote. Chapman said the 15-year-old wouldn't accept cooked meals. He would only take packaged snacks, fruit, and pizza. Meanwhile, ABC 13 learned that the mother and her boyfriend lived in an apartment just 15 minutes away in West Chase. Are you kidding me, you guys? This mother decides that it's okay to leave her children alone, and one of her children is deceased, lying in the room next to the other children. I mean, what in the world? So get ready for this. It gets worse, you guys. Sunday night, they found the bio mom and her boyfriend, brought them in for questioning for an interview, and let them go, you guys. No charges have been filed whatsoever. There still needs to be an autopsy done on the other child. They don't know if this child is a biological sibling of the other 3 children. They have to confirm that through DNA. They don't know how or when he passed away. Another neighbor said, Tanika, said we'd see them come and go. We never saw any children, none. Many of the neighbors believed that this apartment was abandoned, and apparently they called the management office because there was a foul odor coming from that apartment. And guess what? The management office didn't do anything about it. Nobody called authorities about this foul odor. It lasted for a long time. I heard on one of the accounts, a neighbor moved in 18 months ago, and about 5 or 6 months ago, so that would make it around 13 months ago, she said the foul odor started so bad. She said it was so horrible she couldn't use her air conditioning anymore because the smell would go into her apartment. So you imagine that these children are watching their brother decompose to skeleton remains. They're living in this condition with no power, and mama is living it up with her boyfriend in another apartment 15 minutes away. Back at the apartment complex where the boys lived with their brother's corpse, another neighbor, Trevor Thompson, said he would also provide the 15-year-old with food. He described the teen as paranoid and said he was afraid of getting poisoned, which is why he would only accept certain food. He then went on to say, quote, a few times I noticed the lights weren't on and it was quiet upstairs. So I figured there was trouble because the parents hadn't been there in a while. One day he came here and knocked on the door and asked if he could use the charger, and we built a bond from there. I started offering him food because I knew he needed more than just a charger, end quote. So because they were without power, he would need a way to charge the cell phone that he had, and these neighbors were helping with that situation. I just wished that they would have called authorities, but maybe, the parents told these children, don't tell anybody what is going on. The 15-year-old could have been extremely afraid that he was going to be separated from his siblings. He might have been scared of what authorities or anyone else would think about his 9-year-old brother being deceased in the apartment. Thompson said he once ordered them pizza. He said to him, quote, I asked, did you like the pizza? And he said, what? The first pizza we had, end quote. That made me wonder why he said we. So apparently, Thompson thought that only the 15-year-old lived there. He did not know that there were other siblings, not to mention a 9-year-old boy deceased in the home. After finding out what happened, I think he was more nervous and scared, Chapman said. This is the other neighbor. This was the other neighbor that had been feeding them for 6 months. Are they going to blame me for this? Are my parents going to punish me for this? Maybe his parents told him they would be separated if he told anyone. Exactly what I think. Both neighbors said that they never called authorities because they didn't understand the magnitude of the situation. They said the 15-year-old kept to himself and was quiet and didn't answer many questions. Chapman said, quote, I didn't want to push him away by asking questions because I knew he was starving and needed food. I mean, just a horrible situation. Now, they have not confirmed whether these children were in school, but from what I see, I don't think they were. It was very easy for these kids to fall through the cracks. Texas has always relied on teachers to be the line of first defense for the A word, I can't say on YouTube. And these kids never got to that place where a teacher could identify what was going on with them or begin an investigation or alert CPS or others to what was happening. And that was according to the school district authorities. According to the sheriff's office, all 3 boys were taken to the hospital where doctors said they were malnutrition with injuries. The 7-year-old had facial fractures, sources said. Harris County Sheriff investigators say they are waiting for autopsy results to come in before filing charges. We have to also think about when they make an arrest, they have 24 hours to file charges. So I'm sure that they are waiting for those autopsy results. But wow, I can't believe they couldn't file charges on abandoning 3 children in a home that the conditions were deplorable. They had no food. They had no electric. They're living with their deceased brother. I mean, these people they were let out. Are you kidding me? I am going to keep you guys updated on this situation. I want to know what you guys are thinking about these cases. Every day when I just wish things would get better, they seem to get worse. And I really do hope they set up a GoFundMe for these 3 boys. These 3 boys are going to need therapy and a lot of other things. And I want to know how those injuries happened to the children. Who did it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I hope you all are having a beautiful week. Remember, take some time out for some self-care. We all need that, especially hearing these stories. I will talk to you all very soon. Take care, you guys. Bye-bye.